Again, one last check by the judges of the line. We see that white flag go up. Now we are ready to go. Stand by for the start of the 2018 men's 8K. It's underway clean. And again, this course, even though it is a flat field, the footing is tremendous. They've been filling in with a little sand along the way, so there is generous footing, and there's also some pretty generous wide spots even in the turns and down near Ash Creek, which is, of course, the namesake of this event. So it looks like UAA runners pushing to the early lead. And again, with the group of the men, we didn't talk as much about the team strategy, but a lot of our contenders are going to hang back early on. So this is about a 400-meter sprint. We're going to go to the Ash Creek area, so we're going to get our first of 4 sets of the bumps. They call them the Beagley bumps. And these are actually man-made. We talked about this was a grass field. This is infill brought in from construction on campus. And now we're heading towards the north, and this is the end of the easy stuff. We're going to have a couple of pretty steep up and downs. And I say steep, it's only an elevation gain of maybe 15 feet either way. But again, you go up and down, and they're going to do this 4 times. They're going to go twice in this direction and then twice on the way back. And there you see some eager fans and teammates, the tradition of cross country, running alongside, and there are the bumps. So the UAA runners doing a lot of work up front early. And there you see the lead vehicle. So here are the ups and downs. And again, doesn't seem like a lot of elevation, but you can do this a few times. And now they're going to drop down to the lowest part of the course here. And that is where those trees are. That actually is Ash Creek, which is the namesake of this area. So this is the lowest part of the course. We're going to lose sight of them just a little bit here. We're also approaching the 1K mark. And we'll give you that split here in a second. You will see the big flags. Those are the kilometer markers. And as they make the turn, there we go, along the creek. When they make the turn back, that will be 1K. Yeah, this group holding together. We had 114 men's entries. We had a few scratches overnight. And here we come towards the 1K. And now we're forming back up. And again, this is where a slow uphill will begin. And they see a little blue flag there. That's the 1K mark. So 2:54 for the first kilometer. Again, the best times out there this year, we expect to be right around 21 minutes. A lot of possibilities there. And now we're in this long straightaway. Now this is an uphill. This is an 800-meter straightaway. Now that other flag you're seeing there, that's the 4K flag for later on. That'll be on the 3rd loop through. There are a total of 8 passes on various parts of this course. There are some cut-throughs, so it'll be slightly different. And we have 3 UAA runners up front. And, of course, there are youngsters for Alaska, despite the tradition. They're in a little bit of a reload mode. Kim Boy, the best of the bunch. He was the freshman of the year a year ago, finished 3rd in this race. Karui, again, the transfer. And the sophomore, Nixon Koech. And those are the top 3 for the Seawolves. And the question is, who can push enough forward? Simon Frazier is going to be sneaky. You're not going to see all these guys all at once. So now the field levels out here. So it was 400 at a slight incline. Now they're on a relatively flat surface, and of course they're coming all the way back to the start line, and they will run right down what was the start area again. So this same patch of land will be covered 5 times during the men's race, but again, with the course in great condition, it's not going to matter. We obviously see cross-country events where a certain amount of land is covered over and over and over, and it can be pretty treacherous for the last group. That's not going to be the case today. And the women, who are, of course, running in our second race at 11, are going to be very happy with that. All right, here we come. Second time now from the start area. We're approaching the 2K at this point. So we have a Western Washington athlete and a Central athlete in the midst of that. Probably Turlin Moreland, the freshman. And they're going to hit 2K here. So you see the UA runners have given a little ground.
Central Washington with a bunch up there. Simon Fraser is there. And of course, Alaska Anchorage is there.
And again, when they take the little bend, that'll be 2K.
Plenty of time. Do not cut across the course, spectators.
You can see in the white and red, the host school, Western Oregon. They've got their group together nicely. Here comes the 2K. And we're going to call it 6:15. Again, these are highly unofficial. There will be live results online, by the way.
Still got runners coming here in this championship meet.
If you go to the GNAC website, gnac.live, you'll see the results as they come. Now, we're not going to have split results on there. So now the field making its way on the second loop. Now they're going to run backwards. They're going to that long straightaway, but now they're running downhill. This is a little breather here as they're going to head back down to Ash Creek. So now we're in our second loop, and so you're going to see them run back the other way on the bumps. So they're already getting that second taste of this on this second loop. Now with the third and fourth loop, they will only go on the bumps once, but then they'll do it 2 more times after that. And we see a cyclist who is not part of the race. Some warm-ups going on there for the women's race, but always interesting pictures at a cross-country meet between the fans who are racing back and forth to watch at different parts of the course. And it looks like we have a UAA runner back in front. So Alaska is definitely going to put, Alaska Anchorage is going to put 3 up in the top 10, top 15. The question is, how good will their 4th and 5th be? And of course, that's where the door is going to be open for Western Oregon, who have senior power. We talked about Nading, Parker Marson, who's been sub-25, Tyler Jones, sub-25. Justin Crosswhite, a junior, he's had some experience. And then the young gun, Hunter Hutton out of Bandit. Saw a lot of him in the high school ranks. He and his sister grew up with racing in the wind and rain on the South Coast, and he has given up his pole vaulting to be part of this Western Oregon team, and he could be very important down the stretch. Now we're coming backwards now. Now they've run the other way, and they're going to run right in front of us here. In fact, the 3K flag, they're going to pass it in just a few moments as they make their way back towards campus. So now you're looking back to the north and east there at the WOU campus. And of course, we're running alongside the athletic fields, the softball, baseball stadium, and the soccer. All right, here's your 3K at 9:13. So it was about 3 minutes for the last kilometer. And now we'll get a really good look at who's leading this pack. And we have a new leader. We've had our central runner up front. And now the UAA runners coming 1, 2, and 3. Kimboy and Kamobi side by side. So UAA running their guns up front. See the Western runners. And Simon Fraser, again, a little spread out here. But you're going to watch the close. And Simon Fraser has their top three up front. So Simon Fraser in good position. Again, Simon Fraser, Western Oregon's 4.5s could be all the difference here. And remember, some of these teams have more entries. So you may see somebody way back in the pack and say, I hope that's not our fifth. Well, it isn't. Western Washington has 10 athletes in this race. So does Central Washington. UAA has 9. Western Oregon has 10. So we're coming back around to the far end now. They will not run down the center of the course from the start line. Now we're going directly to the long straightaway on the west side. So this will be, again, a long straight and then a downhill. So we've been running just slightly slower each time. We went 2:54. And then we just had a 3-minute kilometer, and now we're going to come up to the 4K here as we get to the end of this back stretch. So we're coming to the halfway point of the race. And the stalwarts from UAA, Simon Fraser, running up front. And you can see in the white and red, the Simon now, of course, Simon Fraser and Western Oregon both in the white and red. So maybe a little harder to keep an eye on, but those are, anybody in white and red is playing a big role for Western and SFU right now. And then you see the Seawolves in that dark green up front. So here's our race shaping up. Again, we're coming to the 4K. You'll see them go by the 4K flag. Want to remind you that Under Armour is the official apparel supplier of the Great Northwest Athletic Conference and a proud sponsor of the GNAC Championship events. Under Armour, turn wish into will. And here comes the 4K. And again, now they're downhill, so this is a pretty friendly spot. This is the last time they will run this part of the course this straight. Again, this is 800. When they come back the other way, you saw a little bend, they have a 790-meter straightaway going the other way. And now they'll disappear behind the fill just for a moment. And again, close to the 4K. And we may be past the 4K. And that's about right, because we're at 12:30. So we were a little over 3 minutes. Actually, right about 3. That was about 12:15. So we're staying in those 3 minutes. So 24 looks like our number. And you saw, we have all those low 25 numbers. So besides the team race, the individual race is going to be pretty epic. And you get down to the late stages. You start looking for our big finishers. And one to watch for Simon Fraser, number 77, if you can see the numbers. He's a 21-year-old sophomore, Pierre-Louis Detorbe. He transferred from Cal Baptist. Cal Baptist, remember, went from Division II to Division I, and so with the age limits, he's not eligible. So he comes to SFU, and he's gone 25 flat. He was 6th in the Division II steeplechase outdoors for Cal Baptist. So he's kind of the secret weapon for Simon Fraser. And Detorbe, who is a native of France, is one to watch as well for SFU. All right, now we're going to see the athletes come back, again backwards towards us, coming through the bumps. UAA, Simon Fraser, looking strong right now. Western, their group kind of hanging in the 20s right now, but again, looking for the big close. And there you get a good look at him making the turn back. And now our field spread out. We now have a lead pack for the first time. We get this separation past the halfway point. So at 12:15, that's 24:30 pace. We'll lose just a little bit of ground there. And here come our leaders. And it's UAA. Gonna keep an eye out for DeTorb. And I think that's him in about the 4th position. We'll get a good eyeball on him in just a moment when they come through. And DeTorb's actually the 3rd Simon Fraser. Simon Fraser has 3 in this lead group. So Simon Fraser starting to shape up a little bit now as we come by 5K. Right now, that was, check our split here, about a 15:20. So we're slowing down just a little bit, a 3:05. Again, these are unofficial splits. But Simon Fraser grouping up nicely here. Again, the Simon Fraser men and women, an opportunity to sweep. Simon Fraser has never won the men's championship. They have one women's title. But this is a big athletic year for Simon Fraser Athletics. The men's soccer team ranked number 1 in the nation right now as they approach postseason. They've been very close. Their women have been in the top 5, and of course the Simon Fraser men have been 2nd or 3rd in their last 4 years. This is their 8th year as a member of the GNAC. Of course, having that inequity being a Canadian school competing in the NCAA. They have competed, of course, against American schools for years in a variety of sports. From beautiful Burnaby. All right, now we're back running down the main straight on the grass. And they'll come to the 6K when they go through the bumps again. They make their way down to the west end. So now it's UAA 1-3, Simon Fraser in 2nd. The other Simon Fraser runners who were up front last time, Chris Zobchak was one of them. That may be him now in the 2nd spot, or it could be him in the, let's see, now we have a Western runner in the 5th position. I believe that's Nading. Nope. Gonna get a check on that. It is Tyler Jones, who was not in the best of shape this week either. He was getting some treatment yesterday, so this is big for him to be running in that top spot. Nading, though, is lurking. He's ready to score. So this will be a big boost for the Wolves, the host team, if Jones can come through with some big points. All right, they're going to come to the 6K again while they go through the bumps, so they're getting close to that. See, that flag there will be the 6K. And now we're getting to the point where there's going to be some lap traffic out on the course as we come to the final 2K. About 6 minutes left in this race. Again, you can get those live results as they come across at GNAC Live. And our lead vehicle has to beware of a back marker in the race. Actually, this is our trail vehicle. And now here comes the lead group. So we're through 6K in 18 mid. So again, we're running just over 3 minutes per kilometer. So we're still going to be sub 25, I believe. 6, yeah, we're right there for a sub 25.
Down the middle, they do a couple of the berms at the very end, right where they are now. They'll do that one more time. They'll take the diagonal and head to the finish line.
And now it is Kemboy. And here's Simon Fraser with 3. Sean Miller, 5th a year ago. And Rowan Doherty. It's Doherty and Miller, Sanchez and Camboy. UAA's got 3 of the top 5 right now. And in the middle of that for Northwest Nazarene, that's Godfrey Camboy, who's got a couple of wins this year. Camboy in the white and black of NNU. So now we're coming to the last time around. And now Western Washington is starting to bring forward. They got 4 runners now up in the top 20. So Western's starting to close, and we knew this was going to happen. Eric Hamill, the sophomore, Dylan Hayes, the senior, and Jay Olson, we told you about right at the beginning, the junior. Now their top runner, Ian Fay, was scratched. But they're getting some good marks, and again, they also have Edward Quabasa. So they got 4 who are going to score. The question is, does Western have a 5th? So last time down that starting straightaway on the grass. This is about 700 meters. We're going to come to the 7K near the end. They're not going to go all the way to the creek this time. And they're also not going to go all the way through the bumps. They're going to get to divert and then head right back down to the finishing chute. So we're getting close to our winner here. And the GNAC Men's Cross Country Championship. Talked about the ideal weather conditions. One of the most ideal things is there's no wind at all today. Had a pretty brisk south wind yesterday, but that is gone. This is just about perfect cross-country conditions. So now it's UAA 1-2, Simon Fraser 3-4. Now, one thing to take note of, if there were a tie in points based on results, the new tiebreaker is to compare each team's top finisher. So if UAA's best finisher is better than Western Oregon's best finisher, that's 1 for UAA. It's like penalty kicks in soccer. So you take those top 5, and whoever has more of those better finish, the first versus the first, second versus the second for each team, that's how you'd break the tie. Now, that only happens if we have a tie in points. Otherwise, we're scoring the first 5 as you would traditionally. All right, we're past the 7K now. We chatted on a little bit, but you know the score. We're looking to see if we can get under 25 minutes. And here they come one last time, the last up and down. And again, they're not going to come all the way back to the highest part of the course here. They're going to get to make a break now. And it's UAA 1-2, Simon Fraser 3-4. And those 4 have separated. So the meat of this team title is going to happen further back in the pack. And one of the Simon Fraser runners now making a move. And now they're getting a sense of where the finish chute is, and now it's 3 runners, and now it is 2 for UAA. Kimboy and Chiuri. And this will be it. Now they get a look at the finishing chute. It's going to be UAA 1-2, Simon Fraser 3-4. Now the final quarter mile. And there's a little bit of a rise, but now you're just laying it all out. And UAA is going to go 1-2, Simon Fraser 3-4, and Western Oregon will be 5th. Western's top runner going to come across in that 5th spot, and that's going to be Tyler Jones. And we're in 24:38. Wesley Karui The newcomer with the big finish. The steeplechaser brings it home in 24:38. Kemboy 24:38. Rowan Doherty led the Simon Fraser group in 24:40. Then Sean Miller 24:34. And here's Western, and it was Jones finishing 5th. Gutsy run for him. Nading in the 6th spot. Jorge Sanchez, UAA, is 7th. Kemboy, Northwest Nazarene, who ran with the leaders throughout. In the 8th spot, Jaden Olson, Western Washington, 9th. Followed by Hamill. Okay, here's the Westerns. They go 9, 10, 12, 13, 16. So Western gets their 5 in the top 16. Is that enough? Yeah, and the team scores still to come. Let's look back now at what Simon Fraser's done. And of course, we start doing some team points. This will be exceedingly unofficial. But right now, I got UAA 1, 2, 7, 11. And 25th for Alaska Anchorage. Simon Fraser goes 3, 4, 14. That was DeTurb. 18 with Zobchak. 21 with Vargas. Now let's look at Western Oregon. Jones was 5th, Nading 6th. Then a little gap back there. Marson 19th. Now Western Oregon not pulling it out. There's Hutton 34th. So did Western Washington get this done? And Alaska did not get their 5th up there. It's between Simon Fraser and Western Washington at this point. 24:38 again. We'll be visiting with Wesley Karui in just a few moments here. And if you're looking at our live scoring, team points, not popped up yet. You'll see a link there for team standings. And they have not posted, so it looks like it might be Simon Fraser, Western UAA, very close together in those top 3 spots. Western Oregon didn't get quite what they needed, even though a great run for Jones, who was, again, injured yesterday and was possibly not going to be able to run. So great drama here, and the UAA runners getting up front. And Wesley Karui with a 24:38. He had a 31:40 10K earlier this year. Oh, no, check that. That was Kemboy. He had a 26:10 at UNLV and won that race. But going 24:38, that is really impressive. And again, still waiting for some team numbers. That takes a little bit of time for the computer to chew on, and we still had some finishers. In fact, there are still runners coming across, so we are not done with the field, and we have not seen the sweeper vehicle yet. So we're still about 3-4 minutes away from the all the individuals being finished up. And there you get a look at the finish line. So we wait for a few more.
Our first team, all conference, all GNAC, will award those folks right after the women's race, which will be about.
And still some athletes on the course. See the crowd at the finish line. Remember, the women's race will begin at the top of the hour, 11 o'clock, so we're 30 minutes away from the start of that race, so get a little chance to refresh. They're moving the kilometer markers. Of course, 6K for the women's championship. And a very crowded field there. Simon Fraser, Western Washington, UAA expected to dice it up for the women's title. Still at least one athlete out on the course. But again, Kirui from UAA, Kimboy, UAA in second, Doherty from Simon Fraser third, Miller from Simon Fraser in fourth. And then Jones and Nading from Western Oregon, Sanchez, Godfrey Kimboy from Northwest Nazarene was 8th, Jaden Olson, Western Washington 9th, and Eric Hamill from Western Washington finishing 10th.
You tune in to GNAC.TV, maybe Bob Akamian knows. On your telephone, streaming live, GNAC.TV. Crewing, there's Miller for 4th, Jones for 5th. Jorge Sanchez for 7th for Alaska Anchorage.
And it appears the course is clear. No, we have at least one more runner out there. So again, no team results official yet.
White tent by 10:40. You check in anytime, you got to do it by 10:40.
Just
Official replay. Here, I've got to go down there and break. Can you walk down? Is that on?
Right now, we're just bringing our last runners across the line right now. We'll visit with our race winner in just a moment here. And a lot of eagerness awaiting the team championship, because that has not been an easy calculation as well. But we'll have that in just a few minutes.